Guys, you know I don't want to hit you with the FOMO, but let's just be real. Fear of missing out. At this point, it's just part of Destiny's identity. With that being said, this is a loot warning video, meaning if you're going through your vault and you're like, yo, I think I'm gonna delete this, please don't, as you may really regret it. Now, a lot of these weapons were already listed in a previous 12 months ago. These are weapons that are going away. Some of them have already dropped for their last time for this season. So if you got them, great. If you don't, well, best of luck next time. Starting with none other than Plug 1. Now, Plug 1 is an Arc Energy Fusion Rifle. Now, I'm actually excited about this one because, as we know, with all our 3.0 subclasses, having matching elements is really beneficial. Take Volatile Flow and our Void weapons from last season. Now, Plug is not only an Arc Fusion Rifle, but is also an Arc Fusion Rifle that can roll with the likes of Reservoir Burst. I'm actually excited to see this because, characteristically, Arc is all about chaining. And since Reservoir Burst quite literally gives you an explosion, and in this case, an Arc explosion, it should synergize very well. Now, it's not to say other rolls of Plug aren't good. Plug is still a very good PvP fusion rifle. We've reviewed it a number of times, and it's supposed to be dropping one more time, I believe, before the end of this season. So guys, really get this fusion before it goes. Now, next on this list is the Hothead. This rocket launcher is actually dropping from this week's Nightfall, the Inverted Spire. So you don't have a lot of time to get it, at least before reset. And just like Plug, it's an arc-based weapon, and arguably one of the best legendary rockets in the game. So many good rolls on this thing, guys, whether it's explosive light, lasting impression, demolitionist, field prep, hell, even stupid combos like clown cartridge and field prep together for DPS, and of course you can roll it with things like impact casing. This is a very good rocket. And for arc burn scenarios, Hothead absolutely carries. We used it all through the Light Blade Strike last season, and it was so good. And again, being a legendary rocket launcher, you could pair it with somebody on your fire team using Galley, and voila, you get Wolfpack rounds, making Hothead even nastier. The FOMO is real. Moving on, Peacebond. This little sidearm is actually really good. Now, there's no particular synergy here, at least for Arc 3.0, but I had to bring up this sidearm because, well, it's gone forever, or at least whatever forever means for Bungie. This sidearm has some incredible rolls, especially for PvP. Rangefinder and Iron Reach, Perpetual Motion Iron Reach, which I personally have. You also have Headstone and Subsistence. And every now and then I will catch someone inside of Crucible rocking a Peacebond, and every single time I'm like, Jesus, I am getting shredded by this sidearm. It's a very good sidearm. As you are going through your vault making space for next season, you may want to keep at least one roll of this. And if anything, keep that Headstone roll, man. Next, we have Archons Thunder. Now, nobody's really jumping up saying, yo, Archon, meta. This is a solo machine gun that is actually going away. It's in the high impact frame archetype. Personally, I don't really care for it, but it's on the list of weapons that are going away. Next, we have Eye of Soul. Guys, there's a lot of good sniper rifles in the game. I still think Eye of Soul is the best, legitimately. And considering you can now get Eye of Soul with Alacrity, even nastier. Now, in the past, I would always say Eye of Soul for PvP. The god roll was moving target snapshot, and it is a good roll. However, here recently, Bungie's actually made changes to sniper rifles where snapshot is not really necessary, as in you can work around it. Granted, the snappiness that snapshot provides is still really nice, but you could cycle it out for, say, something like opening shot. Eye of Soul has a lot of great combinations, including firmly planted opening shot. Or if you wanted to take another route, opening shot surplus, so you can make up there for that handling. Either way it goes, to me, this is one of the best PvP snipers in the game, and it's actually a PvE sniper I continue to use to this day. Granted, Succession is still the better sniper rifle, but a Vorpal roll is really good on the sniper rifle, especially with the likes of field prep. Granted, it can't even roll field prep anymore, so maybe Vorpal Ensemble or even Surplus Vorpal. Regardless, this is a very good sniper rifle. Keep your hands on it, especially a PvP roll. Moving on, we have the Summoner. This is actually dropping from Trials this past weekend. We have reviewed Summoner a number of times, and at one time, this was actually one of the best weapons in the game, most notably during the 600 round per minute auto rifle meta. Now, I actually think Summoner is still really good even outside of when it was meta, especially with the origin trait Alacrity on it. Now, there's a lot of different perks you can go for, and there's actually great combinations for both PvE and for PvP. You've got Overflow with Golden Tricorn. You've got Rampage and Overflow. And then for PvP, you've got Multi-Kill Clip, Perpetual Motion. You can cycle it with Dynamic Sway or Moving Target. And actually, one of the rolls that I really wanted was a Rangefinder Elemental Capacitor roll. Whether I was rocking Stasis or Void, Elemental Capacitor offers some really good benefits in both of those categories, with the Rangefinder boosting that range. Either way it goes, Summoner, a very good auto rifle, guys. Keep it. Next on the list, something new. Now listen, nobody's really going out of their way to get something new, despite it being literally named something new. Now, we haven't exactly reviewed this hand cannon, although we've played with it a number of times. I would say the biggest selling point about this one is, of course, Headstone. Headstone, Feeding Frenzy, a great combination. However, inside of PvP, I personally don't think something new is, well, something worth worth going after. Its max size is abysmal, and compared to other 120s, whether it's Igneous, True Prophecy, Bottom Dollar, I just find them to perform better. They just feel better. And I know it literally has the same skin as like True Prophecy, but this one does feel pretty sluggish. Yes, you can pop off with it. You can roll that multi-kill clip tunnel vision roll. You can even swap it out for things like Harmony and pair it with a sniper rifle or a shotgun and run around in 2-tap. But again, the selling point for me is just getting a good headstone roll before it goes away. And that does go away this week. The other weapon is another Solstice gun that's going away, Compass Rose. Now you either love this shotgun or you absolutely hate it. There are times where Compass Rose completely whiffs on me. And then other times it gets a kill from like crazy ranges. I'm like, man, what the hell? What's wrong with you? Consistency. However, there's a lot of really good rolls on this shotgun. Surplus is really good. You got quick draw. You can pair with things like snapshot, especially like a snapshot full choke roll. Air assault, which is supposed to be a much more desired perk now. And then you also have incandescent, which you don't want to overlook, even inside of PvP. A lot of people look at incandescent as a PvE perk. Dude, those scorchy explosions inside of PvP are very nice. And considering you're rocking a shotgun, you're probably running up into a group of enemies, getting that kill off, watching those kabloomies, it's a beautiful thing to behold. Now I know someone's going to bring up Dream Work, which is the origin trait on both of these weapons. It doesn't bug out like it used to, but it's still a very good perk, and that does make up for the lack of max size on something new. It still doesn't change the fact that, to me, something new is not a good PvP hand cannon, but that does make up for it inside of PvE, and that benefits both of these weapons quite nicely. Now, next we're going to mention is Dead Weight. This is a rapid fire frame shotgun dropping from Gambit. However, I'm going to bring up this one because I'm actually trying to save you from FOMO. Dead Weight will be able to be focused next season with Gambit Ingrams, and this is actually a very cool looking shotgun. The problem with it is so many traits on this thing, man. This is like something that just plagues all Gambit weapons. Look at this, dude. Lots of options, which is both a good and bad thing. It's a bad thing when it's completely left up to RNG. It's a good thing when you can actually focus it. And starting next season, you will be able to focus the shotgun. So not everything on this list today is bad news. Now, two weapons that are also not going away, but will be added to random drops include the Riptide Fusion Rifle and the Strident Whistle Blow. Now, Riptide, you've probably gotten a ton already. They drop all the time from Crucible. This is a stasis fusion rifle, and yes, you can roll with things like Chill Clip, which is really, really nice, especially Chill Clip auto-loading holster, or even like Chill Clip compulsive reloader. And again, as you unlock things in your season pass, when these weapons drop, they drop with multiple perks in a given column. The other weapon is Strident Whistle. Now, I bring up this bow because one of my favorite bows in the game is Under Your Skin. This is actually a void combat bow. You could roll things like Successful Warm-Up, Archer's Tempo, and it's craftable, which means you can have enhanced perks. However, Strident Whistle is very good. Even though it can't roll with the likes of enhanced perks, it does solar damage. It also can roll with things like incandescent, and has a number of trait combinations that makes it a fantastic bow, especially for PvE. You've got Vorpal, you got Shoot to Loot, and by the way, you always need to keep a couple weapons with Shoot to Loot. Y'all remember that Scarlet Keep Cheese that we did way back when? Yeah, we were only able to do that because we had a Shoot to Loot weapon. So you never know when you're gonna need one. But that combination that I brought up, Successful Warm-Up, Archer's Tempo, Strident Whistle can achieve that as well. But personally, I think Explosive Head, Archer's Tempo, Incandescent, that's probably the combo I'm gonna go for outside of keeping a single Shoot to Loot. As far as the activities that will be dropping both of these weapons, I'm pretty sure it's still gonna be Crucible and Strikes dropping both of those. Will we have the ability to drop with multiple perks in a given column next season? I think so, hopefully. Moving on, all the haunted weapons and opulent weapons will still be obtainable, just like we're able to still focus on Season 16's weapons from the war table in the Helm. Crown of Sorrow will still be usable to obtain both haunted and opulent weapons. So nobody freak out, man. Don't quit your job just to get that God Roll All-Stringer. It's still gonna be here. The next weapon on the list, Chain of Command. Now, this can be obtained very easily by just simply ranking up one of the playlist vendors. However, guys, if you don't end up getting it at the end of the season for whatever reason, it will be moved to the exotic kiosk vendor under the Legacy tab. Purchasable for Glimmer, 100 legendary shards, and an Ascendant shard. It's got some decent rolls though. Things like Adrenaline Junkie, Demolitionist. It has 3 different origin traits, as well as adaptive munitions. I don't think anyone's like really breaking their neck trying to get this thing. Regardless, if you don't get it this season, it's still gonna be purchasable next season. So you're good. So guys, that is your loot warning video. These are your weapons that are going away, your weapons that are staying, and weapons that are actually gonna be getting easier to obtain even next season. Most notably that Dead Weight shotgun. We will be getting TWABs, and I'm sure like at some point from now until the beginning of the next season, we will get another loot warning TWAB that's gonna provide us details on what's going away this coming up season. FOMO is real, which is why my vault stays maxed all the time. You never know what's gonna be meta, guys. So make sure you grab them and stash them. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.